with open hearts and open minds. First United Methodist Church in Pueblo, Colorado presents Hope and Coffee with Pastor Hugo Venegas.
Hi, welcome back to Hope and Coffee. It is Wednesday, and we're continuing our journey of the benefits of wisdom based on Proverbs chapter 3. And this week we're studying the prohibitions of wisdom. These are things that we should stop doing that negatively affect other people. It's not wise to bring a lot of negative energy in our relationships. And we're going to look at another prohibition. And this one basically says, do not be jealous of the ways of the violent. Be not jealous of the ways of the violent. And we're looking at verses 31 and 30 and 31. It says here, we talked about this one yesterday a little bit, but we're going to expand on it today. It says, do not accuse a man for no reason when he has done you no harm. Do not envy a violent man or choose any of his ways. The Lord detests a perverse man and takes the upright into his confidence. All right? So he's saying, do not envy the violent man. Do not choose any of his ways. Now, here's what we think. We see what is happening in our world. There is a lot of violence here in our cities in the United States. There is violence. We saw that earlier during the pandemic, the early months in Hong Kong, when there were protests last year and early this year. We saw that there were protesting in France over social benefits from the government. We saw that in Germany, there were protesting a couple months ago because people were not happy with the pandemic restrictions. And we have seen, because of the Floyd deal here in our country, and because of all the other shootings that have happened, we have seen an increase in violence. And here in our own community, we have seen violence over different perspectives in our community regarding the statue of Christopher Columbus. And what Proverbs is saying is, do not be jealous of the ways of the violent. He's saying, do not allow what violent people do to get their way, to get their rights, be your MO in how you live your life. Now, I know that we can disagree about the use of violence or the need of violence in war or when someone is in a life-threatening situation. And I know we can take this in different levels, but I want us to think about two ways in which we experience violence and where we do violence. And I want to talk about number one is dirty money. Dirty money. Dirty money is when we try to get financial gain through ways that are not legal or ways that are not necessarily illegal either. We're just trying to get money in ways that we shouldn't. And a good example of this is drug money. And we know that there are a lot of people who get rich out of drug money. I mean, we see it in Latin America. We see it here in the United States. We see it right across in our southern neighbors in Mexico. And where I have seen how this works is I have had a lot of friends, especially young female friends, who have gone out with people who were involved in drugs. And what they have done, they know it's dirty money, but they want the rings, they want the clothing, they want the trips, they want the vacations, they want the cruise trips around the world. And because of what they want, they associate with a violent way of dealing with money. They're getting dirty money because eventually people get killed, people get raped, people get put in jail, and it's drug money. It's an illicit way of getting rich. But what they're focused on is on the benefits of the money, and then they're not seeing the downsides of how you create that money. So Lady Wisdom says, do not be a violent person. Do not go out of the box. Do not go out of God's ways of enriching yourself, because when you're doing that, someone else is getting impoverished by how you go about getting your money. So money is one. The other one I want to talk about is political power. Political power is when people use legislative power in order to oppress people, in order to take away their rights, in order to do away with certain things in a certain group of population, so that a segment of the population will be able to benefit. And we see this all over the world. If you look around what's happening in Chile, there were protests against the government because the government was not giving the benefits to the people. Right now, what's going on in Nigeria? What is going on in Nigeria? Have you seen the young people that they are upset? They're on the streets and they're being violent. Why? Because the government is not allowing them to experience certain benefits. Right now in Costa Rica is a mess. People are tired because we're in the middle of a pandemic and the government wants to tax the people. Why? Because they have a huge external debt that they have made corrupt deals and have racked up the ceiling, and now they're trying to take away from people when there has been mismanagement and there has been abuses and they have had a lot of money stolen from the people, and this incites violence. And what Lady Wisdom is saying is, do not take away from people because you're using means of violence. And it says, do not use your power, political power, to oppress the masses and to take what from the benefits of the people to enrich a few. I know that our world is in bad shape, but if we were to listen to Lady Wisdom, and stop doing some things, our world would be a better place. So I'm trying to talk a little bit globally, but it also applies to us personally. If I don't act towards my relatives and my friends in violent ways, I will not attract violence to me. If I make deals or I make agreements and I have no intention of following up with those agreements, then I distort the truth and I inflict pain on neighbors and contractors and people who may be doing business with me. And Lady Wisdom is saying that is not good. Do not use your political power to benefit yourself, and do not use violent means of gaining money or gaining anything in our lives. So that's a little bit of wisdom. And she says that whatever we do, there is a boomerang effect. If we throw the boomerang positively, it brings back blessings. If we throw it out negatively, it brings back negative things. And it applies for the individual, and it applies for society as a whole. Whenever a society is inflicting pain on the masses will begin to throw violence back at the political system. This is Hugo Venegas from the First United Methodist Church. God bless you and have a marvelous day.
Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed our inspirational Bible study, like or subscribe below. Join us for worship online or in person. You can visit us at firstumcpueblo.org, or you can come by at 310 West 11th Street, Pueblo, Colorado 81003. Give us a call, 719-544-1917, and join us again tomorrow for another inspirational Bible study. We'll see you soon.